welcome to Wax Sports Reviews. We're looking at the latest and greatest set of Adidas shoes, the Vector Mid for the latest season. A massive upgrade from what they used to be about a couple seasons ago, and for good reason. Number one, these shoes are super lightweight compared to what they were, where in the past they were using a leather upper, which is now an all knit upper, which is also made by using recycled ocean waste as a new Adidas initiative of sustainable shoe making, which makes these shoes good for the earth. Also, talking about this upper, it's super lightweight. It's a very stretchable knit upper, which means it can accommodate wide feet really well, which makes sure that for people with wider feet, you don't have something which gives you annoying blisters at the ends. Also, this is very well ventilated, so that an entire day in these doesn't phase you too much, where the shoe breathes really well, keeping your feet nice and relaxed throughout an entire day of play. These shoes get the name Vector Mid because of the mid cut on these, where they're very similar to the Vector in most aspects, with the addition of this higher cut along the ankle, making them ideal for pace bowlers who generate a lot of their pace by hitting the deck really hard, or just someone who has a very heavy landing and needs something with a bit more cushioning, which is a lot more robust around the heel so that you don't have rollovers, and also really good support. Talking about the midsole, it is the classic adiPRENE Plus midsole, which is a very chunky Adidas proprietary midsole for cricket shoes. The chunkiness really comes up around the heel, where most of the shock would come every time you land in these, so that most of that shock is cushioned away, offering you really good energy return too, which makes taking your foot off the ground very easy with these. There's also this cage that wraps around the whole midsole, which has a bit more weight in the heel so that you land heel first, offering you better grip and reduces the chances of injuries. In terms of the outsole, it's a 7 and 3 spike layout, 7 at the front to give you superior forefoot grip. So if you're using these shoes to spin the ball or just an aggressive batter, this will give you really good tread, with all of these TPU shells running across the fore so that you get really good grip along with the metal spikes. The 3 in the back is for good reason, and that is what Adidas have done since the conception of these shoes, where the third spike will tilt your foot in every time you're landing down on the ground, making sure that you don't roll over your ankle. On the off chance that you do land on the outside edge of the heel, this slight cutout here gives you extra landing room, which will automatically tilt your foot in, making sure your heel injuries are taken away as a result. The outsole also bleeds into the toe to give you really good Yorker protection, along with this synthetic leather here, which is a lot more durable and stiffer than a traditional leather in use, making sure you get better Yorker protection as a result. And this wraps around really well too, so that as a bowler, if your follow through has a massive drag along, these shoes don't fray apart that easily, making sure they are very well long lasting. Talking about this mid cut, you have really well cushioning throughout the heel, along with a really stiff heel cup, which is what Adidas are really good at, where the stiff heel cup holds your heel in really well, with all of this extra cushioning to compensate for that extra bit of stiffness, and also takes away most of the shock. This higher cut, as I've mentioned earlier, offers you a lot of support. It takes away most of the shock every time you hit the deck hard, where a lot of kids who grow up tend to have problems with their heels, where they're pulling too much effort into the heel, which jitters their feet every time they bowl when they stamp into the ground. Something like this is a good sort of design where it takes away that pain, making sure you can then bowl again at your full prowess. The best thing about this shoe, which is a very heavy piece of engineering, which no other shoemaker has even come remotely close to, is the BOA dial. Here is where Adidas have integrated golf shoe technology into cricket, where this BOA dial is a 4-foot locking system. So unlike having just a strap which could wear off at any given point in time, the BOA system has a cage attached with these steel wire-like lacings. So all you do is press the button down and dial it in, and as you can see here, it's locking in the midfoot. What this will do is give your midfoot a lot of support, making sure it doesn't slide around too much, and also gives you the freedom to lock your foot down right down to the exact point where you want it, so that it's not too uncomfortable, but it's not too loose either, which makes this the defining feature of these shoes and a high recommendation in my books. Another really good thing about these shoes is that out of the box, most of them come with the ankle lock system, so that you don't have to spend too much time mucking around with these. These shoes are good to go. And also, the sheer amount of stability in these shoes is fantastic and are second to none. Unlike some New Balance shoes where you find where they just collapse in the midfoot area, making it very risky to bowl hard pace in these. Initially designed as a pace bowling shoe, these can be used by spinners or batters or anyone in general who has a very heavy landing, as I mentioned earlier, to give you additional support. So if you've had foot issues, this would probably be my ace recommendation. All up, probably the best set of shoes on the market. With a fair bit of thought gone into making these, making sure they are one of the finest out there. So if you're looking to get these, you can walk into one of our stores or get them online.